Hi, this is Paul Salo with Making Money Abroad. This video was inspired by Brendan Burchard, and I want to thank you very much for inspiring me to make this video, because I've been thinking about this for a long time. So here we go. This is Paul Salo with Making Money Abroad, makingmoneyabroad.com. I'm an entrepreneur, American entrepreneur. I grew up in California, on the beach in San Clemente, California, and I left the States, I left California in 1989. I've lived overseas and I've been making money abroad since 1989. I'm going to teach you all the secrets that I've learned and the systems that I've learned. When I get into a new city, when I need to learn what I need to learn, I have a system for it. I don't just go in. In the beginning I didn't. I started out, I didn't know anything. I was a kid, I was just out of college, and I came overseas and I didn't know what I was doing. But things have changed. It's been 25 years almost. It's 20, what is it? I'll be 48 this month, so it's been a long time. And I've had a lot of different businesses. We got into anything from right now. I have a real estate agency in Shanghai, China. We help people to buy houses in China. I've been featured in TV shows, all kinds of things, like things that opportunities I wouldn't get back home. Okay, I've had a lot of opportunities that I wouldn't have. I was in investment banking in Japan. I had my own recruiting company, and I've just just had a lot of different opportunities to make money abroad. And I'm going to go ahead and we'll slowly get to know each other as we go through these videos. But I wanted to give you first what Brendan said, and I'm going to give you 5 secrets for making money abroad. So, number one is learn quickly. Learn quickly, okay? You don't have any time, okay? When you get to a new place, when you get to a new city, you can't be living in a haze. You've got to learn quickly. You've got to learn the streets, right? You've got to learn the times of the subway, right? You've got to learn about the money, where to change it, where is legal, where is safe, right? You've got to learn everything that you can learn, okay, culturally, right? Just where to shop for things, where to get things. If you don't get food, you're not going to be healthy. So learn quickly. It's your number one thing. It's your very first thing. Next thing is, what you want to do is, success secret number 2 is to map the town out. So wherever you land, wherever you decide that you want to live and you want to make money there, you want to support yourself, and maybe you want to make a lot of money, the first thing you want to do is you want to map the town out. Okay, so here's the way I look at it. Is imagine in Clint Eastwood, what does he do when he gets to the new town, right? He's looking around very carefully, right? He knows where the stables are, right? He knows where the general store is, right? He knows where the saloon is, okay? He knows where the dance hall is, okay? He knows where the bar is. He knows everything, right? He knows where things are. He maps it out. He looks around, okay? So that he doesn't have to think, He can just quickly move, right? But when you get into a new town, what you want to do is, when you're mapping it out, you're not mapping it out for a saloon, but what you're going to map it out for is you're going to map it out for who's making money in this town, okay? So there's going to be people making money in any town that you get into. There's going to be expats, people like you who didn't grow up there, they're not from that country, and they're there and they're supporting themselves and making money. So what you want, there's like English websites, there's English magazines, there's English schools, there's manufacturing, there's services, there's all different kinds of services people get into. But what you want to know is, you want to know very quickly is, what services do people do? What's the general store, right? What is the transportation? What is the horse business? What is the, you want to learn all these businesses, and you want to meet people as quickly as possible. You map it out, what businesses make money and who's doing those businesses. And eventually, in your next step, you're going to target this, and you're going to meet these people, and you're going to try to get as quickly as possible, so that you know everybody in the town, basically. It's not complicated when you get to a city, believe it or not. If you follow this system, it becomes very simple. There's not millions of different choices, right? Okay, next thing is number 3, is what you want to do. Okay, in The Art of War, Mutu said, you want to burn your bridges and your boats, right? And the reason why you want to burn your bridges in The Art of War is you want to let everybody know you're serious, right? You're serious that you're gonna do this thing, right? Your army's not going home, right? You're gonna finish this battle and you're gonna win, right? You're gonna win or you're gonna die, right? And when you do that for yourself, when you burn the bridges for yourself, is you're telling yourself you're gonna succeed, right? You want to give yourself a clear message, because there's going to be a lot of doubt. You're going to have days where you're sitting in your bed and you're not going to know if you made the right decision. You might even have a year like that, okay? So when you burn your bridges, so you quit your job, you maybe either bring your girlfriend with you or decide to cut it off, but you burn your bridges, okay? You burn your bridges. You make sure that you know in your heart that you're committed to this, right? And you'd be amazed. I mean, you will be amazed how powerful this is. And the people that don't burn their bridges, is what happens to them overseas is completely different than people that do burn their bridges. So I don't mean burn your bridges like hurt people and leave people. I mean like basically don't give yourself any options. You're going to succeed here. You decided this is what you want, right? Is this what you want? Right? Ask yourself that first. But if it is, make sure you don't have any options. I sold my car. I left my job. I told my parents I was going overseas. My dad told me it was a terrible idea and that he basically didn't want to support me after that, right? And I can understand where he was coming from. You know, from his point of view, it wasn't a smart thing. But to me, I was burning my bridges. I made a clear decision, and I knew I was gonna do it. You know, of course, my dad wanted me to do it, but I mean, he didn't know. I knew I was gonna do it, and I made that commitment to myself. So, burn your bridges. Number 3. Number 4. When you get to a new place, start small. Don't be afraid to start small. Okay, you don't have to be. You know, if you were an investment banker back home and you're going overseas, don't expect to get the same job when you go overseas, right? You might have to start very small, right? You know, one of my good friends, he was an investment banker with Goldman Sachs, right? And when he went to his new country, I don't want to give away who he is, but when he got there, there wasn't a lot of options, and he ended up buying a little tract of land, very cheap piece of land, and he ended up building up these little huts, and he made them for the poor people. He noticed there was a niche in the market that wasn't being filled. And that guy actually made money. One of my good friends made money selling houses to poor people in a third world country. And everybody was happy. Everybody won. So start small. You know, my friend wanted to start to be a developer. He probably wanted to do something really big. You know, when I came into Shanghai, I'm filming this right now from my apartment in Shanghai, so this is my view out my window here every day. By the way, that out there is Nanjing Road, and Nanjing Road's the most famous road in Shanghai. Quite a nice place. I feel very grateful to live here. But I had to start small in Shanghai. You know, I had success in other countries. I've lived in many countries, and I've made money in many countries. But when you go to a new country, you're starting again, right? You're starting all over again. And that's what I had to do in Shanghai. I had to start small. I wanted to do, I wanted to open up a, investment banking company, or I wanted to get in that business, but it wasn't possible. And I couldn't even open up a real estate company. I had to start with almost like a youth hostel. I had to open up, right? That's how I started my real estate business. It's grown today to something very, very different. But I was willing to start small. I wasn't proud. I was willing to clean the toilets. I was willing to do whatever it took to get that thing going, and with what was available to me, right? So start small, and don't be afraid of starting small. There's nothing ashamed. You don't have to be ashamed about starting small. You know, just like immigrants came to the U.S., they started with dry cleaners or something, and they ended up at Harvard. So, start small and work hard and see that niche, okay? And the last thing is don't do it for the money. Which is funny, right? Because if this is making money abroad, right? And I'm telling you, you can make a lot of money overseas. You know, the world is becoming more global every day. I think you've heard of something called the internet. You know, I think it's called the information superhighway. Heard of that? And things are more global every day. I think everybody knows that. But along with that comes a lot of opportunity, because countries now that were nothing before are now becoming very, very. And along with that growth comes a lot of opportunities, right? I don't think that this is going to go away in my lifetime. I think that the world is going to keep expanding. I think there's going to be more money to be made in different countries. And I think the people that are flexible, that go out there and get it, are both going to have a much better life because they get a lot of flexibility in their life. And they're also going to make a lot of money because they'll be in the center of the growth. Right? They have that opportunity to make money when you're in the growth. When you're in the gold rush, you have opportunity. When you're in the dying Detroit, the opportunities are not as strong, right? There's no growth. Right? Growth makes a big difference. But again, the last thing is don't do it for the money. You know, my life has been so interesting, and I mean, I can't even. You know, as you get to know me a little bit, you're gonna find out more and more about my life, and you know, my friends and the things I've been through, and you know, I think what I've been through, and this is no BS. My life is worth way more than any money I've ever made. You know, I mean, my life is super interesting. You know, when I meet people at parties, I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? You know, start telling stories. You know, start talking about my life, and people are blown away. And then it reminds me, oh, that's right. You know, I'm having an interesting life, right? I'm doing interesting things. I'm meeting new people all the time. I have new business opportunities all the time. So that excitement and that new growth, and that's the kind of stuff that gets me off. You know, that's the stuff that really gets me excited. And the funny thing is, that's probably one of the things that helps me to make money, is because I'm not doing it for the money. I actually enjoy it. I actually, you know, like going overseas and starting new businesses, starting from scratch, you know, grinding away, you know, cleaning the toilet in the beginning. It's okay with me, you know, and I like that. I kind of like that learning new businesses thing, you know, is where I don't know anything again, you know, I'm starting fresh, you know. And one of my good friends told me, he was about 75 years old, and he told me when I was in my early 20s, he said, stay green. He said, stay green like a leaf on the tree. Don't mature and fall off. Yeah. What you want to do is you want to stay green, and that's what I really like doing, and that's what makes my life interesting, and that's what I love about my life. But along with that, enjoying your life, starting new things, taking risks, growing. Guess what happens? You make money. You make money. People want to be around you, right? And you have opportunities because you're in the right place, right? You're moving to the growth, right? You're not like stuck like a tree, right? You're mobile, right? You move around. So those are my 5 tips. I'm going to go over them again real quick for you. Number 1, learn quickly, okay? So practice learning quickly. You're going to have to learn languages. You're going to have to learn streets and cities and people and cultures and traditions and all that stuff. Learn quickly. Number 2, map a town out. It's not that complicated. Think of it as like I said, a Western town. Very simple. There's a few key things there. You want to know what they are, who's working on, right? And they're succeeding. Study those, right? Don't reinvent the wheel. Next thing is burn your bridges. Burn your bridges so that your family knows you're serious, society knows you're serious, you know you're serious most of all. You got to burn your bridges. You got to be all in, right? I am all in when I go. Number 4 is start small and don't be proud. Don't be proud. Be willing to go from the very beginning, right? And number 5 is don't do it for the money. So enjoy your life and enjoy the things that you go through. You know, the people you meet. And you know, I'll start telling some stories that we get on later on in this. But this is an introductory video. Here's your 5 success secrets from Paul Salo. My last name is Salo, S-A-L-O. I'm making money abroad. And again, I want to thank Brenda Burchard and Experts Academy for motivating me to make this video. So thank you very much, and I'll see you inside.